Hi everyone, Rob here. We've got an exciting day today. We are outside of Cassel Brewery in Casselman, Ontario. Now, this brewing operation opened up in 2012, and that's right around the time that we see an explosion of craft brewing here, particularly in Canada. And they've come out with some phenomenal products. Now, the first product that they launched was called the Golden Rail, and it's in tribute to the rail station right behind us, present day that VIA still operates through. Now, rail brought a lot of things to benefit these types of small communities in the 19th century. It gave them access to markets they wouldn't have otherwise had, which would have given you impetus to develop a fabulous brewing operation such as this one. So we're going to go inside, we're going to talk with a couple of the owners, and let's just have a lot of fun with this one today. Welcome to the tap room of Cassel Brewery. This is also the retail outlet. You can come in here and buy some wares, clothing, hats. They also have coffee that they roast. We'll get to that at another time. But we're going to focus on the brewing operation, and that is really what the foundation of all this is. They started again with their first brew called the Golden Rail, and it's a honey brown. It's an excellent ale, named after the rail that had passed through, as we mentioned, outside. Now, the brewery itself has a very strong Franco-Ontarian culture and cultural roots tied to it. And with that, the three gentlemen that own it, started it, have a very deep passion for brewing itself. I'd like to introduce you to one of them. This is Benjamin. Benjamin, always a pleasure to see you.
Pleasure.
Great
Thanks
to see you in your actual outlet this time. We normally run into each other at event spaces at hotels, so it's great to see you here. Tell me a little bit about how you got started.
Yeah, that's pretty much the invention of Mario from being a home brewer. So he's been brewing beer at home and all that. And one evening we were at a bonfire and started talking. We're like, hey, idea of launching a brewery, and we're like, oh, sounds great. I'll write you the business plan. Things come along. He had the recipes all, and the branding was already there with the logo, and that was back in 2010.
This brewery's actually done really well. I was explained earlier on that you can pump out to the capacity of about 500,000 341 milliliter cans if we went by that metric in a year. So the capacity of the brewing option has really grown since then too, hasn't it?
Yeah. From I think we're like 10 times what we were brewing at the beginning.
That's
it's
awesome.
Kind of going.
And you penetrated the LCBO, which is very difficult to do. So once you're on the shelf space, it definitely gives you the entire market of Ontario becomes your playground.
Exactly, it really helps. It's a good distribution network to be in the LCBOs. Being in a restaurant also is really interesting. Gives a lot of experience and fun times for people with on tap. So that's really fun. There's grocery stores that goes. And there's always a retail shop, so many channels to
facets,
enjoy.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's the other thing too. I mean, breweries, if you think of it as such, if you're in the liquor space, is probably the best way to start. The old saying on a winery goes, you know, if you want to create a small fortune in a winery, just simply start with a large one. So it's much easier to come to scale with brewing. Brewing is phenomenally popular within this region. And around the whole Ottawa region itself, which Casselman belongs, the passion of the people for beer and brewing excellence has really taken off. So we're going to go into the back very shortly. We're going to go in with Mario, one of the other owners, who is the brewmaster and has really brought a lot of these particular styles of beer to life. We have a Caboose IPA, you have a red ale, I believe they have a pale ale they developed, a saison, some of these absolutely fabulous styles, and for easy drinking, the Franco lager. So anyway, we're going to take a step over here and just follow me in, and we're going to take a tour to the actual brewing operations itself. Hi everyone, welcome back. Always good to have a pint in your hand while you're walking into the brewing operation itself. This is the bowels of the operation, the nuts and bolts. This is what makes everything happen. We are actually in the brew house itself, behind the tap room, and this is where all the creation really takes place. And with me is Mario, the original brewmaster, just to talk a little bit about it. Hey Mario, great to see you.
Cheers. How's it going?
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for having me. Mario, you've got some products in the room, in the front room. I know you started with the Golden Rail. It's a honey brown ale, and you have the Franco lager. Talk to us a bit about the core products that you have.
Yeah, the core products that we have at this point, we have 3 all year round beers. First ones are classic, our flagship Honey Brown, or called the Golden Royal. And this has been around since the very beginning. It's actually one of the first beers that I brewed. And still brewing away. And then we have our Franco, which is a craft lager, easy to drink, 4.5%. You know, kind of beer you can pound
Fun, easy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You can throw it back on a hot day, you're floating,
Exactly.
or you can just be watching hockey in the middle of the winter. It just goes down awesome.
Exactly. One thing that's important to mention, those types of beer, craft lagers, and they're a great stepping stone for people not into craft.
That's true.
Drink all the mainstream beer.
That's true.
They want an experience. You're not going to give them an American IPA. They might love it at first and then keep on going, but they might really hate it. And then say the craft beer is not good, it doesn't taste good, it's too strong.
That's true, and it's something you want to go with flavor profiles. Anytime I've been tasting beer sommelier, I always introduce the lightest style and then go to the heaviest, because from there it's easy for people to step in and step out of what they like and don't like.
Exactly. So our Franco Lager it's a tribute to the Franco-Ontarian community. This is why we call it the Franco, but some Italian guys came up to us and said, "Hey, my father's named Franco. I named the beer after him." That's awesome. That works too. And then we have our Caboose, which is an American IPA. Obviously, IPAs are a trend. Everybody loves IPA, big, bold, juicy IPAs. And then we're coming out with an El Hoppy too. We're going to add a 4th one to our annual profile, or all year round beer profile, which is going to be essentially IPA.
That's awesome.
We're going to add to it. And then we have our rotating seasonals.
Like this one here, the cranberries.
The cranberries are spring and summer.
Yeah.
Thanks. And in the wintertime, fall wintertime, we'll have a prorogation coffee milk stout, and then our little red amber ale.
That's awesome. Well, thank you very much, Mario. Cheers.
Cheers
and
to
cheers to you, ladies and gentlemen.
Cheers.